Today we're testing the MultiJoy Spaniel e-bike. Let's go. So I've been testing this e-bike for a while now and I have a lot to report, but I want to put it through the ringer today. So we're going to hit the roads, go as far as we can, kill the battery, see what kind of range we get, but also see how many different types of areas we can travel on. The road, trails, sand, whatever I can throw at it. And I'm going to report back to you along the way to see what we get out of this and what kind of bike this is. So let's get on the road. So I just completed the first leg of my road journey, which was 6.2 miles, and I did it in absolutely no time. I was able to fly, and it was a lot of fun. And that's part of what makes these e-bikes special, is that you can go farther than you normally would on bikes, have a lot of fun, and not ever be worried about getting too tired too far away. Now I also have the Rad Power Bikes fat tire bike that's a lot like this one, so I tend to compare them as I ride, and I have noticed some pros and cons. And to break those down real quick, first, the screen. On this bike, it's bigger, it's colorful, and there's a lot more settings so you can customize things. I like that. Second, it has a cargo rack back here which can handle up to 55 pounds. It's built in, it's strong, has 3 elastic bands. And something that I love about e-bikes is that you can replace things that you might have done with a car before. You can go to the store, you can go things, you can haul something to people's house. You can just use it as your way to get around when you normally would have thought you could only do that with a car. So being able to have a lot of stuff back there and know it's secure is very nice. Oh, and if you're enjoying this, do me a favor and hit that like button. But my biggest pro is that it has just a little bit more power. On my Rad bike, if I'm pedaling my hardest, and have it at full assist, I can get to about 24.5 miles per hour. With this, I think I can get to low 27s. I think I've seen 27.2 as my highest. Not a huge difference, but sometimes when you're riding in the city and it's 25 miles per hour, you might get stuck where you're in the flow of traffic and you don't want to be that person slowing everybody down. Well, with this, you can maintain that speed and know that you're not bugging any cars, you're right there with the flow of traffic, and then as soon as you can, you get out of the way. So I really appreciate that because I like to ride around town, but I don't want to slow people up. So just having that little bit more made a big difference for me. Now on the con side, this was a big one for me. It may not be for you, so I'll break it down real quick, but it has a PAS support system, which means you dial it between 1 and 5, and it's how much support you get. Now on my Rad bike, what this means is, at 1, the bike is just barely helping me out. I still have to do most of the work. At 5, the bike is doing most of the work. I can still pedal along, but the bike's really gonna do a good hunk of the work. And I like this because I can control how much work I'm gonna be doing if I still wanna get exercise, how much I want that bike to be doing the work for me. With this, the 1 through 5 settings doesn't mean how much it supports you. It means how much of a delay there is before the motor kicks on and starts doing its thing. But once it kicks on, it's pretty close to full power. And with that, if you're going around the city at the lower gears, it kind of just does all the work all the time. And I don't always want that. I want that feel of the bike under me. I want to do a little bit of work. Now, if you're thinking this is an e-bike, I bought it for it to do the work, I don't want to, you're in great shape. You're gonna have the throttle here where you can control how much power it's putting down, how fast you wanna go, and then you can have that PAS system support you when you're pedaling. If you want to do it that way as well, it will just go even though you're lightly pedaling, so you'll be in great shape. Now, this was a problem for me only at lower speeds when I'm just going around the city, and even though maybe I'm riding with my kids, I want to do some of the work. Now, I can turn that off. I can go to 0 and it's just me, but I can't do it where it's just lightly supporting me. It's kind of an all or nothing thing. But if you're going to be outside of the city or just places where you can go kind of the full speed on this, if you're pedaling at the max in the top gear, you still have to work with it. You don't have to work hard. It's still doing a lot of the work, but you can work together with the bike. So it's only a problem at the lower speeds is what I noticed. So I wanted to make that clear. May not be a big deal to you. It depends on how you're going to ride this and use it, but I wanted to point that out because there is a big difference between how the PAS system works on this bike and the Rad. But I think it's time to hit some trails and see how well this thing handles the off-road. So I'm not sure if the microphone's picking it up or not, but if you can hear all these bugs, you know I really went in the middle of nowhere. Now, I've been throwing everything at it. I've been going down trails that are grass, dirt, sand, and also just going straight through the fields. Now, these are trails that are not maintained. They just have tractors go through them, so they are very rough, and this bike is handling it really well. I'm trying to throw everything I can at it, trying to mess it up, trying to break it, trying to see what it can handle and what it can. So far, it said, yeah, this is too easy. I got all this. You can tell that the big old fat tires really help you a lot. They got a lot of surface area and they just absorb a lot. The bike and its frame, its beefiness and its build quality are really standing up well. Just, you can tell it's not gonna have a problem with anything I'm doing, and I'm pushing hard and I'm riding fast through this stuff. Another thing that's been nice is I've been playing with the suspension, locking it versus unlocking it and having different settings. And it really lets you tailor the experience to where you're at so you can get the feel or the conditions you want, and the bike can handle it a lot better. And that's been really nice because sometimes having that suspension absorb some of the impact has been really nice, but other times just locking it in and just going is also nice. So I've really been enjoying the ability to do that, and it works really well. But I want to find some sand. And I think I know a place I might be able to find a little patch because I don't have a lot around me. So let's hit the road again and let's see if we can find some, and I'll report on how it does in that. Just got done with the sand portion. I didn't have a lot to work with, but it was wet and slippery, and this thing handled it like a dream, no problem at all. You're gonna be able to go anywhere on this thing. It's starting to get dark, so I'm gonna have to run home. I put 15 miles on it so far, not even touching the batteries. It has plenty left, so I'm gonna ride again another day and continue to tap this battery and see what it can do. But let's get home, and then I'll continue more and give you guys an update on everything I think about this thing at the end of this. So I finished up my testing on this thing. It's time to throw everything I have at you in a rapid fire format. Starting off with assembly. It was a breeze. Really, no issues at all. It was pretty simple. Didn't really take that long. I think you're gonna be able to do it just fine. Don't worry about it. Moving on from there, a lot of the things that you want to do with this, it just does very well. First, I've said it before, but it's built very well. It seems like it's built to last. It's going to handle whatever you throw at it, so that's awesome. Acceleration is there. It takes off, but it also stops. When you need to hit those brakes, you can grab both of them and stop very quickly. It works very well. Cargo carrier can hold a lot of weight, but straps down nice and tight, giving you more ways to use this. Overall bike feels like it's built to last. I really threw a lot of things at this, hit it hard, ran through the trails full speed, and it's still working like the day I got it. It just feels like it will last you a long time, and that always feels good when you're buying something this expensive. Overall experience, the screen, the ability to take corners, the control, everything was just an A+ for me. It felt really good. This was just a lot of fun to be on. So everything you would want out of this, you're really good. My only big negative, I already mentioned it, I'm not gonna go into it a whole lot more, is that I wish the support system worked a little different and you could tone down how much power it put into the bike. So that way, if you want to do the work, you could. But, you know, outside of that, fantastic e-bike, a lot of fun, easy to control, throttle works really well, just a good bike. So if you're on the edge, you're thinking about getting one of these, this one's been a lot of fun. Forgot to talk about distance. I was able to make it 28 miles on one charge. But again, hit that like button, subscribe to stay on top of everything health, fun, fitness, you know what. But until next time, here's to a healthier you, and have a good one.